How about them Niners, baby? Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Sammy J Reacts. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we're going to be quickly recapping the game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, going over some Niner nuggets, notes, and quotes about the game. But before we get into it, if you're a Niner fan, I want to ask if you could please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you never miss one of my uploads so we can continue talking about what we love to watch. And that means 49er football, baby. And just fans of the NFL in general. Let's go. This was easily, hands down, without a doubt, the best game of the weekend, the most hotly contested and competitive game, and a battle between two of the NFL's best defenses. The game honestly went how I thought it would go. I knew Dallas was going to come in and try to get payback for last year's playoff loss. We knew it was going to be a grinded out game, especially with the defensive stars Dallas has over there, and Diggs, DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch of late has been playing great, and they found this rookie steal in Israel Mukuamu, especially coming off that dominant performance where they destroyed Tom Brady and the Buccaneers on both sides of the football. Dallas was coming in hot and confident. The only problem is they were facing a team that was even hotter than them in the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I'll be honest, this was not the game I was expecting the 49ers to play. It kind of seemed like Kyle Shanahan wanted to play into their cards, and he was actually coaching a bit scared. Some of the play calling was really weird, but also at the same time, Dallas's run defense was phenomenal. They were forcing the 49ers to play the pass, and while the Niners did have success passing the ball, they really got behind the sticks because they weren't able to effectively run the ball on first, second down, which led to the most 3-and-outs and punts I've seen from this football team since Brock Purdy took over as a starting quarterback. And like I mentioned, man, a lot of that falls on Kyle Shanahan. There were some really weird coaching decisions going on, like the end of the first half when he let, what was it, 40 plus seconds roll off the clock when we're trying to get into a position to get a field goal, if not a touchdown, which led to one of the more funny moments for me when Brock Purdy almost didn't clock the ball in time for us to kick a field goal, and Kyle Shanahan got mad at him for, pretty much extending the play, double padding when he shouldn't have. It's like, bro, he wouldn't have been in that situation if you didn't put him in that situation. You didn't let that 40 plus seconds run off the clock. And there was also that really weird play call on 2nd and goal where he called a quarterback draw. It's like, whoa, relax. Let's not get Brock Purdy hurt because we're one injury away from having Josh Johnson start the NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl if you are lucky enough to get there. But I think Kyle, at the end of the day, was playing conservative because he knew the stakes of this game. He knew what he was facing. That Dallas defense is no joke, like I mentioned before. And I think for the most part, at the end of the day, Brock Purdy did his job as a 7th round last pick in the draft. He looked good. I mean, obviously, he's a rookie. He's going to make these rookie mistakes where he's rolling out left a lot. And it led to some plays where you're just holding your breath, but he's really just trying to throw it away. If we take a look at the box score, he was 19 of 29 for 214 yards and an 87.4 rating. But at the end of the day, when the Niners needed it most, they executed. At their own 9-yard line, they drove 91 yards down the football field, running the football down the Cowboys' throat. You could tell they were worn down. They were tired. The Niners' run game was picking up steam. It ultimately led to a Christian McCaffrey touchdown, giving the 49ers a huge 7-point lead late in the fourth quarter. Like, just for perspective here, the Niners carried the ball 11 times for 27 yards in the first half, which is only 2.5 yards per carry, as opposed to the second half, where they ran the ball 21 times for 86 yards or a 4.1 yard per carry average, and you could really tell they wore him down. That's textbook. That's what Kyle Shanahan wants to do in games like this. So overall, while the offense wasn't flashy, like, other than George Kittle, which, by the way, I predicted, he had a quiet game last week against Seattle. I was expecting them to really go tight end, running back out of the backfield heavy going into the game this week, and you really saw that. Ayuk had a quiet game. Debo had a quiet game. Christian McCaffrey had a quiet game, but George Kittle did not, and boy, oh boy, did he make one of the biggest highlights in this game. That ball was up in the air for a little too long for my liking and my heart, but when I saw him come up with that ball, I just felt confident. I don't know what it was. So yeah, overall, I think the offense executed when it needed to execute. It wasn't flashy. They didn't score over 35 plus points like they have been the past couple of weeks with Brock Purdy, and they didn't really get many explosive plays. But without seeing any of the film, which I'll probably break down later on, I would say that the offense executed magnificently when they needed to do it against a top-tier defense. Okay, and this whole narrative needs to die about Brock Purdy hasn't played a good defense. He practices against the best defense in the NFL every week when he was on the practice squad, so let's just pump our brakes there with that. And the Niners overall did a pretty great job neutralizing Micah Parsons again in back-to-back years. He was virtually a non-factor in this game. And don't get me wrong, I love Micah Parsons. Obviously, I would pick, if it wasn't for Nick Bosa, he would be my defensive player of the year. So Cowboys fans, if you're watching this, don't hate me. Quick shout out to Leighton Vander Esch, man. I love seeing that kid bounce back. He didn't have that great of a year last year, and man, he was playing lights out this game. I am sorry for saying that the Niners would expose him in my previous video. So again, to tie a bow on it, the Niners offense did just enough against the elite Cowboys defense. But now moving over to the story of the game, and that's really Dak Prescott imploding, because honestly, This was a game that the Dallas Cowboys probably should have won had Dak Prescott not imploded. In my opinion, I think they had a pretty great game plan to attack this Niners defense. I mean, they were chipping away. They would get their explosives when they needed it. CeeDee Lamb had a hell of a game. Now, in my opinion, I think Tony Pollard was actually going to be a big part of this game plan, and when he went out with an injury, you could really see the offense was fluttering and sputtering because really Zeke was a non-factor in the run game, and Dak Prescott ended up being the Dallas Cowboys' leading rusher. But while the Niners defense didn't really get home as often as I thought they were going to get on Dak Prescott, they were able to pressure him enough to make a couple mistakes. Like I said in my preview video leading up to the game, if you can get to Dak Prescott and make him uncomfortable, he's going to make a mistake. He led the league in interceptions this year, throwing 15 in the regular season. And guess what? Today, the Niners defense didn't really get home as often as you would like, but they were able to pressure Dak into making 2 huge crucial mistakes and almost a third one. I mean, he gift-wrapped an interception to Deommodore Lenoir early in the first quarter, which led to 3 points, luckily enough, only for them. Which, by the way, huge shout out to Demo Lenoir. I love seeing that kid bounce back. He had a tough couple of weeks to end the regular season, but look at him now. He's got some confidence going, got himself a pick, 2 picks back-to-back weeks. Watch out for him. But then he also threw a pick to Jimmy Ward, but Jimmy Ward dropped it. But don't worry, because it bounced off of Jimmy Ward's hands right into Fred Warner's hands, which was perfect. I've never seen a player throw 2 interceptions on one play. That shit was crazy. And you can really tell Dak Prescott struggles against zone coverage. It's just not his forte. I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't see these underneath defenders. Like, he almost threw a pick 6 to solidify the game for us to Dre Greenlaw. Luckily, Dre Greenlaw dropped a pick. And I'll say it was fair because Diggs did drop a pick. But that's neither here nor there. And continuing to talk about this offense, like I said, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys had a really great game plan and Dak Prescott really just imploded. Like, this game was teetering back and forth to the balance of whichever team wanted to take it and seize it for themselves. Luckily for me as a 49er fan, the Niners were the ones that seized the opportunity. And to see Dak Prescott perform like this kind of sucks. I love Dak Prescott as a person. Obviously, as a Niner fan, I don't want to see him beat my team. But I hate having this narrative around him and clouding him similar to Kirk Cousins. But hey, you're a big boy. You're a starting quarterback in the NFL. You know you can't make these mistakes. You can't be making these turnovers again and again and again if you want to win a Super Bowl. And if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan waking up tomorrow morning, this morning, whenever you see this video, I'm concerned with that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. I think the Niners did an excellent job in every aspect of the game. My keys to the game were to try to shut down Dalton Schultz. He did get the touchdown at the goal line, but that's a tough block and release off of a play-action boot. And funny enough, I just realized that the only 2 touchdowns scored in this game were both by Stanford players, Dalton Schultz and Christian McCaffrey. So, shout out to the Bay Area. Last thing I really want to talk about is just Fred Warner. All-Pro Fred. Oh my God, did that man have a game today and really solidified and continuously proves why he's the best linebacker in the game. He was playing with a physicality I haven't seen from him in a while, because normally, I'll be honest, he kind of gets dragged on some tackles, but today he was making sure that motherfuckers were bouncing back when he was hitting that stick on him. He got himself a pick, obviously, but to me, it was what he was doing in the coverage game when the ball was thrown his way, or not even thrown his way. He is the best coverage linebacker in the game. There's a play he made, and I'll probably put it on the screen right now, where he carried CeeDee Lamb on a seam route off of a fake blitz look. Do you know how hard that is? It's insane. And this kid just proves it again and again that he's the best linebacker in the game. And I just had to give a huge shout out to Fred Warner because he's playing with his hair on fire. Oh yeah, one last shout out to Robbie Oldest Dirt Gold, my boy, who just casually doesn't miss kicks in the playoffs. Never missed a field goal in the playoffs. It's unbelievable, man. And you don't truly appreciate great kicking until they miss it. You know what I mean? So I just want to give a huge shout out to Robbie Gold, my kicker. And how could I forget to mention the head coach, Kyle Shanahan? He's now taken these 49ers to 3 NFC Championship games in the last 4 years with 5 different quarterbacks starting games. And get this, he also has more playoff wins than Jim Harbaugh now, 6-5. And now, overall, the 49ers have been to 18 NFC Championship games. That's just some special stuff right there. And now we look on to Philly. Bring it, man. I'm ready for that game. That's going to be a great game. Honestly, Philly looked incredible. They destroyed the Giants. That's going to be such a fun matchup to break down and look through the film. And I can't wait to go through that. Just getting my feeler out right. I'm in podcast mode right now, so I'm just kind of talking off the cuff. But I'm excited, man. Going into Philly to go to the Super Bowl, I think that game's going to be the Super Bowl. I think 49ers Philly's going to be the Super Bowl. Whoever wins that game is going to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And the craziest part of this whole thing is that it's going to be Brock Purdy versus Jalen Hurts. I don't know if anyone else here watches college football, but they had a game a couple of years ago that was like 42-41, barely losing. Brock Purdy balled out. I think he threw maybe 6. I don't know. It's college, so probably 6 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts also had a great game. It's crazy to think. If you told me back then that in 2023, Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy were going to be playing for the NFC title game, I would have called you crazy. But guess what? That's legit. So stay tuned, man. I'm going to be breaking down this matchup against Philadelphia. It's going to be a tough one, but I'm excited to break down the film. But yeah, man, if you did enjoy the video, I want to ask if you liked the video, man. Like the video. If you felt my vibe, I hope you subscribed. And as always, man, I'm going to leave you with a bang, bang, Niner gang. Yay! Peace, love, and positivity, everybody. Peace.
So right now, every single day matters. It's all about one game right now. One game, and that's in Philly. The only thing that matters is 49ers. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let us go 3. 1, 2, 3.